Evening, welcome to the Derby debrief from RamsTV. Owen Bradley with former Derby skipper Shaun Barker alongside, here to react to a thrilling night for Derby County at Vale Park. The Rams extending their unbeaten run to 19 games and making it 6 consecutive wins in all competitions as well. They scored 2 goals in 1 minute 45 seconds right at the death to come from behind and beat Port Vale by 2-1. It was their first ever victory at Vale Park as well. You'll get reaction from the camp shortly, including hearing from head coach Paul Warne. Just an incredible finish, Shaun, that came out of nowhere in some respects, because yes, I know Derby had chances, but as soon as they got that first goal, you thought there might be something here, and then to win it the way they did was incredible.
Yeah, it was a game that felt like missed opportunities were going to be the thing. Both teams had chances, both looked vulnerable at times in that second half. We had 2 glorious chances in the first half, and when Port Vale got their goal, you really worried that we wouldn't get back into it. But such is the team mentality, the togetherness, the drive, the energy till the very last moment. It meant that we had a couple of opportunities in the final few minutes and we took them, and it's such a big result and a big performance because of the run we've been on, because of all the kind of confidence that has been building within the group, the players, the staff, the fans, the club, that it made it even more special that it took until the 87th minute to get that first goal. And there isn't going to be a better away day this season with the feeling of those 4,000 fans that are going back with the turnaround in the last 5 minutes. And
this one was different, wasn't it? Because we've not seen Derby come from behind. I mean, certainly not in as dramatic fashion as that. But throughout this unbeaten run, the games that have been draws have been pretty close generally. A lot of goalless draws, a lot of 1-1s, that sort of thing. They've not been particularly exciting games. They've been tight games, whereas tonight there were lots of chances at both ends, and the victories that Derby have had in that run, there's not been anything that's come in that manner.
There hasn't. It really has felt like Derby have had a lot of control in the games. Even when they was in that position when they were just picking up draws, they probably could have done better in terms of getting the result, getting the 3 points, but were still in the game and still had control of it one way or another, whether that's structure behind the ball, whether that was a way to press to not allow teams to settle. On this run we've been going on, we've had a bit of everything. We've had great out of possession work, great structure, quality in the final third, a real flow to our game. We've mixed up the game. Today felt a little bit more kind of expansive and open, the second half especially. We always look like scoring, which is great, especially away from home. It just felt like players that we needed to be in that fine form in the final third, those players that we've relied upon in the last 2 or 3 weeks and going into a month or 2 with the Barkazens, the Mendes-Lang, the McGoldricks, lacked that little bit of quality in the final third, and it looked like it was going to just be one of those days. But fortunately the substitutions, the attitude, the application in the final 5 minutes or so was outstanding, and it just turned it on its head.
More from box in a moment or two. You remember, of course, that back in October, Port Vale ruined Paul Warne's first home game in charge of Derby when they came from behind to win 2-1 at Pride Park. Well, tonight, Derby returned the favour. Let's get some reaction from the Derby boss.
Paul, many congratulations. The run goes on. That was quite the late show tonight.
Yeah, for goals, I thought our overall performance weren't bad. I don't know what it looks like. We can see what it looks like. The pitch was, wow, something else, and that's no excuse. I don't think we could play as well as we possibly wanted. It was sort of an end-to-end game, and Port Vale are a really hard team to, play against. They took 3 points off our debut game, so to speak. So we knew it was going to be a tough game, and we had to match their, effort, and for large periods we did, although, disappointed with the goal we conceded. We lost first contact, which is hugely frustrating. But apart from that, I thought we were really good. And even if we'd have lost, I wouldn't have had any complaints with the lads. They did everything we asked them to do. We just couldn't get the goal we wanted, really. So the fact that we got 2 goals so quickly at the end where our fans were was something else. And it takes everyone. I took some superstars off the pitch today and put the young uns on, and they came good for us. So, I've said it all the time, if you're going to be successful, it's not just the first 11, it's the whole 18. And I know we have a small squad, but they're close, and yeah, love them guys. They've done brilliant tonight, and it was like one of them moments where, Nat scored late on down that end. It was just, wow, breathtaking. So really pleasing.
What does it say about the character and the mentality to win the game when it looked like it was just not going to be your night, with the amount of chances that you had that went begging?
Yeah, they just keep going. I mean, you could probably see us on the side of the pitch. We weren't going crazy because there wasn't a lot wrong, really. We just didn't, didn't take the opportunities we had, and just kept, and they just kept going, and they just got a real belief and a real togetherness, which is worth a lot. And to get the 2 goals, I still can't get over it, really. It's just beyond Disney, really. It just felt a little bit like that. But I don't think it was, I don't think anyone could leave the ground and think we didn't deserve to win. I thought, we created enough chances. However, we could have conceded another couple ourselves. So I'm not saying everything's perfect, but as a night of entertainment, it don't get a lot better.
Word for Lewis Dobbin. He had a great chance to equalise. It didn't happen for him, but he certainly played his part with 2 assists.
Yeah, well, the ball that Foz put in for Dobbs when he's in, I was thinking, oh, here we go. And when that doesn't go in, you start thinking, look, it might just be one of them nights, and I can't have too many complaints if we lost a football game, if we give everything, and sometimes it just doesn't go your way. And tonight, it just, I just didn't see. I always thought we'd get a chance, but to turn a 1-0 defeat into a 2-1 win is really enjoyable. And I understand it. I understand what we are when we travel away, and the opposition take ages taking everything. You get frustrated, but you just got to try and keep calm heads. And there were some unbelievable performances out there. I thought the subs come on done really well, but it'd be amiss of me not to mention 90. I thought literally on the heaviest pitch in the world after playing, a big game only a few days ago, to cover that amount of grass is something else. And he's winning the ball late on to, take us over the finishing line. But it was a team effort, a squad effort, so yeah, really pleased.
And as you mentioned earlier on, to score those 2 goals in front of your fans, you keep the unbeaten run going, that energy and connectivity that you've got with the supporters, it's just one of those great nights. And you talked a couple of times about making memories, and I think that'll be one that lives long in the memory. Yeah,
I hope so. I appreciate everyone who's travelled. Luckily I had Curtis out there to do the bounce. That got me right out of the clunk. I don't really feel like that's me. I feel a bit stiff for that. Something might break. But yeah, to score 2 goals late on, it always feels even bigger than a win, if that makes sense. But the lads can take confidence because they're not going to have everything their own way between now and May. They're going to go behind in games, but as long as they know they've got the character and they keep trying to do the right things, they have a chance. And I said to the lads tonight, if you play at your absolute best, you have a very difficult team to stop. And we played well in parts. At times we didn't probably hold the ball up. We had to change the system because it wasn't a game where much was going through the middle, so obviously we went 4-4-2, and Colo came on, was an absolute handful as well. So yeah, really, really pleased. And to score 2 goals at the end where your fans are is something else. So pleased for everyone who made the effort to come and support this great club.
We'll move on to next Monday now. West Ham Premier League team at Pride Park in the FA Cup. Another occasion to relish, look forward to, and go again.
Yeah, well, I'll give the lads 3 days off so they can rest up, and then have 2 days prep for it as best we can. Excuse me, and then enjoy the night for what it is. If we win and we go through, great, and if we perform at our best and we don't go through, then that's how football is. But it should be a night to remember. It's a real privilege for the lads to be on the pitch with some of their superstars, and we'll see what team they pick. I'm hoping he's going to pick a really weak one, but we'll wait for it for Monday night. And like I said, there's no massive pressure on us. Every game we play in League One, there's massive pressure on us, but there isn't. So the lads can enjoy it for what it is and hopefully perform at a level that will help us go through. Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Yeah, what an occasion Derby have to look forward to next Monday with West Ham visiting in the FA Cup. That is all to come. We're going to reflect a little more on what we saw tonight at Vale Park. Just an incredible finish, Shaun, and one that I'm sure supporters will talk about for a long, long time. And as Paul Warne was talking about there, and we were discussing it full time when we were looking back through even just the highlights of the second half, Derby had a lot of really good chances, and it looked like it was going to be one of those nights, didn't it, when they weren't taking any of them? Yeah,
it felt like one of those nights because there were some really good chances. You can go away from home and be limited to only a couple of opportunities, but there weren't only good chances. There was great positions inside the box that it just looked like we were tentative to have that killer instinct. I thought Barkhuizen in a few situations got in good positions, didn't make the most of it. It all seemed to happen down that left-hand side. And when Dobbin came on, he had a couple of opportunities that he didn't take. It felt like it was just going to be that night. And I said in commentary. It's whether someone can step up and have that little bit of quality. And to be fair to Dobbin, he missed a couple of great chances, and he still stepped up and got 2 assists in the final 5 minutes or so. And that shows a lot about the character of the young lad. The reality is, I think we can kind of question his final delivery, his final little moment. But if he was scoring freely, he'd be playing in the Prem now. He's a young boy still learning his trade. And the 2 moments that he had, spring it to keep the ball in for the second goal, was a big point I didn't mention on commentary. Those little moments to set up McGoldrick and to set up Mendes-Lang were brilliant.
McGoldrick had that quality just when Derby needed it. It is brilliant work from Dobbin, and we'll maybe come back to him in a moment or two. Gets the ball across, and McGoldrick's probably the perfect man in that position, isn't he?
He is, but he had a glorious chance in the first half. But he's just got that assurance, I suppose, in front of goal, that when the ball comes across, he took his time, he found the corner. I think it just about goes under Jones, which is probably that little bit of luck you need. But Dobbin does great to get down the wing and find him. And again, you just felt like there was another opportunity, and they got it so quickly afterwards. Again, down that left-hand side, Dobbin doing some brilliant work, and the finish from Mendes-Lang was sublime. Across the front post, little flick with the outside of his boot. It's a brilliant finish. And it was just a wonderful end to a game that looked like it had got away from us. It felt like it had got away from us, but those players didn't believe that. The staff didn't believe it, and the fans get to appreciate that 5 minutes of mayhem, of brilliance, of quality, and they go home happy.
We saw him do it driving to the front post, the other front post on Saturday, Nathaniel Mendes-Lang, and suddenly that's 2 goals in 2 games for him. And we were having that conversation before the game about how Derby are getting contributions from everyone, and it feels as though, particularly in this 6-game winning run that they're on now, a different game, somebody else steps forward and says, OK, I'll get it done tonight.
Well, you can see they've done work on the training ground in terms of Mendes-Lang, Barkhuizen, Dobbin, whoever it may be out of those wide positions, making second striker runs. So if you've got McGoldrick going towards the front post and it's down the left-hand side, Mendes-Lang is getting there. This time McGoldrick was out of the way, Mendes-Lang comes across the front post to get a goal. It's quite clear that the manager, the staff, Richie have all worked on things in that final third to create more opportunities, and that's why the likes of Mendes-Lang are getting more goals, and Dobbin's being a threat, and Barkhuizen on another day probably gets a goal or 2 himself. So it's wonderful work. You can see the work that they're doing on the training ground. It's coming to fruition in the games, but it just didn't feel like it was happening, and that's what makes it even more special. Just
to circle back to Lewis Dobbin, he sets up the 2 goals, but he has 3 chances as well. One when it's straight at the goalkeeper, one when he put it wide, and then the third, which was probably the toughest of them all, he puts off the underside of the crossbar. I mean, for 25 minutes on the pitch, it's pretty staggering the impact that he had. But this is what Paul Warne's talked about, isn't it? Having 4 wide players, if we include Springett in that now, that can all come on and make a difference for him.
And they have done. So when Barkhuizen's come on the pitch, or Mendes-Lang has come on the pitch of late, they've all made the impact. When they've started, they've been in those positions to get goals or create assists, and that's what he wants from his attacking players. For Dobbin, it was a wonderful pass from Forsyth to see that reverse run, and a brilliant run from Dobbin as well. And it's just that final bit he lacks. You can't lack you can't question his pace, his willingness to get on the end of things, the ability to find space in that final third in the box. He just needs to finish off with that final bit of quality that's lacking. But that will come with experience. It will come with making mistakes. And the best thing about his performance in the last 25 minutes or so is he's still got in those positions. He's still made sure he made those forward runs. He might lack confidence in front of goal at the moment, maybe. That's understandable for a young lad that's still learning, but he's still getting there. He's still doing the right things. He's still doing what the manager asks, and he gets 2 wonderful assists for that. So I'm pleased for him, pleased with the staff, but all those boys that are working their socks in, day out, to get those results. It's just a wonderful moment.
Oh, let's get some more reaction from Vale Park, where Derby have won for the first time ever tonight. We can hear from Craig Forsyth.
It's a quite remarkable ending to proceedings today. Just talk me through them.
Yeah, it was a tough game. We knew it would be coming here. Pitch was not the best, but we knew it'd be a tough game anyway. But we made it a little bit tougher for ourselves, giving away a sloppy goal. But we've kept going to the end, and we've managed to get the 3 points.
When you go behind after having the chances you have, how much more difficult does that make it?
Yeah, it does, especially against a team here where they're quite happy to sit in and soak up the pressure and try and hit us on the break, and we've obviously got to try and take chances to get back in the game. But I felt after they scored, we created a lot of chances. Cleared off the line, there was all sorts going on, but we managed to get the equaliser, and luckily for us there was still enough time at the end to get the winner.
Both before and after their goal, there were a lot of chances that didn't fall how you would like them. Did it feel at times it was going to be another one of those nights like you have had at times this season?
Yeah, it was. I mean, there was one hit Didsey on the line, I think it's gone over the bar, and you start to think maybe it's not going to be our night, but we kept going. The message the staff always put across to us is keep going to the end, and we kept going, and we got the reward at the end.
And that says a lot about the character of the side, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I think the run we've been on as well, I think we didn't want it to end like this. Giving away a sloppy goal, and as I say, we've dug in at the end and showed a different side to our game. Maybe not as pretty on the eye tonight, but we still get the result.
How much does that unbeaten run spur you on to, obviously you don't want to lose a game ever, but with that record behind you, how much do you focus on wanting to make that continue?
Yeah, I think it's important for the momentum. I think everybody's confidence is sky high just now, but yeah, we've got to keep that momentum. As you see the results tonight, everybody else is winning, so it's important that we keep in touch with everybody.
Talk me through the goals then. To the first, Lewis Dobbin, excellent wing play for him, and to cut it back for Dave McGoldrick. What was your view of that?
Yeah, I was on the way line. I could see it was coming to Didsey, but I think it went through a couple of legs. Fortunately for us, there was a few others like that tonight that hit legs, but it got through, and we knew that there was still 5-6 minutes left to get the winner, so it was important to keep going, and Dobbs has done excellent again for the second goal.
Yeah, how much of a lift does that give you, that first goal, with the fans then right behind you almost sucking the ball into the stand?
Yeah, I think so. I think the fans could sense it as well. I think they could see that there was chances there for us, and we were creating chances, and it was just a matter of if they were going to go in, and eventually the last two have gone in for us.
I think by my reckoning that's the first time on this run that you've been behind in the second half of the game. How important was it to then turn that around and show again another different side, another different way to win?
Yeah, it is. I think it shows the fitness levels and the impact that the subs are making as well, and it's a squad thing. The staff always say that it's important the subs are ready to make an impact, and I think all three that came on, or all four that came on tonight, made an impact, so it's good for everybody in the squad to get on and be part of that win.
That mood in the dressing room must be excellent after a turnaround like that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Everybody's buzzing. Everybody's tired legs. It was a heavy pitch, but yeah, everybody's buzzing. A couple of days off now, so puts a smile on everybody's face.
A few days off and then on to West Ham. That'll be a big tie down at Pride Park on Monday night, won't it?
Yeah, it will. Yeah, it's something to look forward to. Big occasion for the club and for us, so we'll go out and try and win the game.
Big occasion for the club and for the fans, just like tonight was. They were excellent backing you tonight, weren't they?
Yeah, as always, away fantastic. Following, filled that away end, and I think definitely helped second half shooting into that goal, and at the end the scenes were brilliant. Everybody's off the bench celebrating, and that just shows what togetherness there is in the squad.
Cheers, Fozzie. Enjoy your days off.
Even Fozzie's voice has gone after that finish tonight. Results from elsewhere tonight: 3 games postponed due to frozen pitches, including the game involving Sheffield Wednesday away at Cheltenham, which means Derby have closed the gap to the Owls. We'll show you the table in just a moment or two for details of that. But Bolton beating Forest Green thanks to an early goal from Dion Charles, who was sent off midway through the first half in what looks like a case of mistaken identity that will probably get overturned. Bolton held on with 10 men nevertheless. Portsmouth had a man sent off as well, but still won at Fleetwood. Big win for Ipswich. All 4 goals came in the first half in their trouncing of Morecambe. Late winner for Shrewsbury away at MK Dons, and a pretty regulation 2-0 victory for Wycombe over Oxford United as well. That's seen Wycombe climb up to 7th in the table. Derby closing the gap to a couple of sides above them, the leaders and second place Sheffield Wednesday not playing tonight, so Derby now within 8 points of Sheffield Wednesday, still 4 behind Ipswich with that game in hand. Bolton winning tonight as well to stay close to the Rams, and Wycombe, as I say, climbing up to 7th as well. Port Vale drop a place, Forest Green stay stuck to the bottom of the table. That's all from us for now. If you want more reaction, it'll be on the website, dcfc.co.uk. Highlights available tomorrow as well. And over the next couple of days, we'll start the build-up to Monday's big game, the FA Cup 4th round tie against West Ham. That's it from us, from me, Barks, and the team. Goodbye.